All right, what's up, guys? Welcome to episode 2 of the Action Creator Series podcast. I'm your host, roycejak, and today I'm super pumped to welcome our first guest, Mr. Nolan Omura. Nolan is a photographer based here on the islands, on Oahu specifically, and I can say with a lot of confidence that I believe that Nolan is one of the best photographers and photo editors in the islands. He specializes in adventure photography, specifically underwater and water-based photography. So if you've ever stumbled upon an exceptionally good photo of some dolphins or one of those half in, half out of the water shots, it's very likely that it was one of Nolan's photos. I talked to him a little bit about this, and we're not sure about the specific numbers, but he's gained probably in the range of about 50,000 followers over the last 6 months alone. And he's sitting at about 120,000 followers right now, which is crazy. And that just really speaks to the level of talent this guy has, as well as just what a good eye for photography and design he has. But just having a good eye does not guarantee you success. And this guy is a crazy hard worker. He puts the time in, he's dedicated to his craft, and this growth is coming for good reason. And on top of all that, he's only 20 years old, which makes the level of skill he's been able to cultivate and the success he's found that much more impressive. Again, just super pumped to have him on. I'm very thankful that he was willing to have this conversation with us, and I hope you guys enjoy it. I just want to let you guys know that this is the first interview I've recorded via Skype call, and I'm still trying to figure out all the third-party software. And we had a few issues with Wi-Fi, and the third-party software is acting up a little bit, so we kind of had to work around those. So some parts of this interview might seem a little choppy, but I'm going to do my best to edit it up and make it as crispy as possible for you guys. And on that note, we will wrap up this introduction and get into the interview itself with Mr. Nolan Omura. 2, 1. All right, guys. On the podcast today, we have Mr. Nolan Omura as our guest. Super pumped to have him on. He is actually our first guest on this podcast, so we're really setting off the guest interviews with a high bar. So, Nolan, what's up, man?
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course, man. Like I said, super pumped to have someone who really fits the mold of a creator to be the first guest on this podcast, man. It means a lot.
Always just having fun. Good to get in a good talk.
Okay, so I just gave a brief introduction on who you are, but do you want to give the audience a little quick rundown of how you would describe yourself and what you do?
Yeah, so pretty much I'm a student here in Hawaii. Typically, just trying to stay busy as much as possible. But I do a lot of photography and videography on the side, mostly ocean and a lot of adventure when the ocean is difficult. But yeah. I'm just an ocean photographer and videographer that goes to school, so it's pretty much just keeping me busy, keeping my mind in the right place.
Yeah, right on, dude. I'm pretty sure, I'm pretty confident that everyone who's listening to this episode right now is familiar with who you are. So they'll definitely know what you're talking about. Dude, you've found a lot of success over the past year because when did we first meet? Or I first reached out to you to give you some gear, maybe a year ago?
Yeah,
almost a year ago, probably just a little under a year ago. And dude, you were definitely nowhere near the amount of followers you are on Instagram right now, dude. How many followers did you gain over the past like year, would you say?
Honestly, I have no idea. I think
like if you keep track, dude, it's a lot.
Yeah, at the start of the year, maybe I was at like 50, 60K. I'm not sure.
No, yeah, dude, you've grown fast. Maybe from my personal experience, that's the fastest I've seen anyone, dude, especially in that adventure photography space, grow. Like you have crazy growth.
It's pretty much, I guess, just meeting new people, meeting a lot of friends. Everybody comes to Hawaii. Everybody wants to come and check it out. So word of mouth, they hit me up, man, stuff like that.
And I think that speaks a lot to what, like, you're obviously you have a great eye and you're super talented, but you're also super good at networking. And like you're just a really genuinely good person. And yeah, like you said, when people come to Hawaii, they gravitate towards you because of both your skill and the fact that you're just a good dude. And yeah, building those relationships, just like you said, I think has contributed a lot to the growth that you've seen.
Exactly. Everybody's in it for the followers, the likes, all of that. But I always look for a good friend. I always look for a good person to learn. Like if I can teach and if I can learn, then that means a lot more.
Right on, dude. And that's, again, I think that's what the fact that you think that way, I think contributes to the success you've found and definitely the success you will find in the future. Because, dude, you're definitely gonna keep spiking, dude. You're gonna keep growing for sure.
I appreciate
And
that.
yeah, so like I said, you obviously have a great eye. You take great photos. You edit, dude. The way you edit your photos is so good. Like the color, the way you balance your colors is so admirable, and you definitely set a trend. So you have a great eye, but your captions are really good too. So I kind of want to talk about your captions and how you choose your captions, because you don't just do, like, sometimes you have simpler captions, but they're always very relevant and inspiring. Like you have really good, well written, inspiring and motivational captions. And I think that's another thing that's definitely contributed to your success. How do you approach captions, and what relevance and importance do you put on a good caption?
Typically, I usually think of the caption, or certain times I'll think of a caption ahead of time and I'll actually save it as a draft. But a lot of times it just kind of comes in the spur of the moment, like what happened throughout the day, what happened throughout the week. If I met someone and learned something from them, then I can like spread the word at
Make
least
it
to what they.
make it relevant to that specific experience. So you put like the experience in or like the caption and the experience in the photo all kind of come together. In that
Exactly.
sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I get what you're saying. I definitely do the same thing. Like I'll write, if I think of a cool quote or just hear a cool quote or caption or whatever, I'll definitely jot it down in my notes.
Yeah. Totally.
Okay. All right, Noel. What makes you excited to wake up in the morning?
Hmm. Normally not too excited to wake up, but no, but going
I feel
just
that. I feel that.
yeah, yeah. Going out and knowing that waking up knowing I have plans to see my friends or do something, that's what usually gets me to get up in the morning. Like just having that thought, making those plans the night before, knowing that I'll wake up and half an hour later I'll be in the water, in the mountains or something. Just knowing that I have
Exactly,
something
dude.
to do.
You have a passion to look forward to.
Exactly, exactly.
That's awesome. Would you consider photography your passion?
Yeah, totally. Like I'll see something and I'll be like, oh, I wish I had my camera. Or like I'll see something and I'll think of a specific shot and I'll be like, oh, I gotta come back and do this. Yeah, yeah.
How did you get into photography initially, and how long would you say you've kind of been in the space?
Mm, I first started photography, or I guess growing up on the island. I grew up going fishing, going diving, all of that. And Hawaii is such a beautiful
Yeah, just kind of
place.
led that adventurous lifestyle.
Exactly. It's so photogenic that I realized this and I wanted to like show people my vision also. So that's pretty much what fueled it. And maybe a few years back, 4 years maybe, I used my sister's old disposable camera that had a water case, like a old
Oh, the
cheap.
OG, like
Yeah, yeah. And that kind of
The Costco
sparked it.
cameras.
Exactly. And from there, just evolving equipment, slowly building, getting smaller paid jobs, just grinding whenever I could.
Right on, man. And I know you definitely do some affiliate work. What do you think is like the coolest affiliate job to date that excited you the most, or was the funnest to do?
The probably the funnest job that I do is the Red Bull Party Wave. One of my like mentors or photographer people who helped teach me, Zach Noyle, we shot the Red Bull Party Wave 3 or 4 years ago, and that was like my first paid like real gig. And It just
Yeah.
helped me get a sense of what he does, what other people do, but while having fun because it's such a fun event that like
Dude, it's bad. Yeah, yeah. I'm not too familiar with Red Bull Party Wave, but I'm very familiar with the Red Bull culture,
mhm,
and I imagine it was a super fun time. That's sick.
exactly. It was I actually have to shoot it in a week or so and that'll be really fun. I always look forward
Oh,
to it.
really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, heck yeah, dude. Definitely keep me posted on that. I'm looking forward to
Yeah.
seeing how that goes. Um, you mentioned Zach Noel being your
Mhm.
mentor, and I personally think I would consider a lot of people, pretty much anyone I learned from personally, to be my mentor. And I do value mentors and learning from individuals who are at a place where you want to be a lot. So how do you view mentors, and how important do you think it is to have a mentor?
To me, it's very important, especially when you're first starting. I didn't know much about my camera. I would watch YouTube videos, but at the same time, when someone actually teaches you, like hands-on, this how this helps, all of that, it helps you learn so much quicker and so much more than you would just from a video. And
Exactly. You're actually
exactly, he
yeah,
pretty much
you're actually
just
out in the field doing it.
yeah, exactly. He told me, take when I first got my camera, take it everywhere, shoot everything, just practice settings, see what this does, that does, all of that.
Yep. Repetition, man.
Exactly, exactly.
It's part of the process.
hmm hmm
Okay. All right. All right, Nolan. Where do you see yourself in the future? Maybe like 5 years from now, and maybe not specifically that, but what do you what goals do you set for yourself, kind of long term, and where would you like to see yourself in the future?
Honestly, that's a tough question. Like being in school right now, I'm gonna finish my degree, take another 2 years to do that. And from there, I'll just go with the flow, see what paid jobs I can get, what photography jobs I can get, all of that. And it's such a hard thing to do. Like, of course, I want to do this, but at the same time, it's not something solid that
Not super stable,
exactly
yeah.
exactly. So
But I feel like out of the majority of photographers I've seen, you're obviously so skilled, and you've built such a good brand, and you have a very specific look, which is really important to building a brand too. I feel like if someone sees one of your photos, they'll know it's your photo. Like if I'm scrolling through my feed real quick and I stumble upon your photos, I know it's your photo just because you have that specific style.
yeah,
And I feel like that, like if you definitely have the talent to turn this into a career,
mm-hmm.
but
You can never be too sure. You can never be too sure.
yeah, exactly. So what are you getting your degree in?
I'm doing civil engineering, so yeah,
Okay. Is there anything specifically in that field that you would like to do as, like, I guess, a 9 to 5?
not necessarily. I know that there's always steady jobs and availability, and it's
Yeah.
definitely something more to lay back on. Like taking these extra 2 years to finish my degree and have a solid base just in case
You have a so yeah, exactly.
is 2 years compared to your entire life. Like all of that.
Exactly, dude. I feel like that, yeah. That's a very responsible
Mhm,
move.
mhm.
All right, so speaking of the success that you've found to date, how do you think that success and the following you built has impacted your life as opposed to prior to kind of blowing up?
Honestly, it hasn't had like a huge impact. Like I'll always be the same person. I'll never let it get to my head. I'll never think I'm too good for anybody or anything like that. But it just helped me learn so much, meet so many people that if I didn't take photos, I never would have met. So pretty much just learning to stay humble and it just helped teach me and help me make more connections. But yeah, never it'll never change who I am as a person.
Right on, dude. Do you feel obviously you have great engagement on your photos. the captions are great. You get a lot of comments and a lot of people who really do respect you and what you're doing and kind of just your outlook on things. And do you feel kind of since you've had a lot more eyeballs on you, do you feel extra responsibility to kind of be a little more inspiring or motivational?
I do. Like people always, yeah. I mean, it just kind of comes naturally, but at the same time, I will never like, I would never inspire someone to do something that would hurt them or other people. Like I'll
Yeah.
always tell them be safe, have fun. The most important thing to me is always having fun. Make sure you're creating those memories. But if it's gonna get you in trouble or one of your friends in trouble, then just think twice about it, 'cause
Yeah, okay. I think that's some great advice, man. Okay. If you could give a young Nolan who maybe is still trying to find his way and still trying to figure out what he wants to do, a single piece of advice, what would it be?
this is a good one. I would probably tell him just keep working hard, just have fun and keep working hard. Hard work will always pay off regardless. But once you kind of get into that slacking, lazy mode, then it's hard to snap out of that. It's pretty much
Yeah. Yeah,
yeah,
momentum's huge, dude.
exactly. I would just tell him work hard.
And that's something I respect, dude. You like okay, for you guys who are listening to this, Nolan, right now when we're recording this, it's a Sunday night at like it's 10 p.m. on a Sunday night, and Nolan starts his first day of school tomorrow at 7.
Exactly.
So that just shows that speaks to this guy's work ethic. And dude, you're so consistent too. Like you post pretty much every day, right?
Yep. I try my
That's
best to.
that's crazy, dude. Do you kind of just roughly like try to post every day, or is it like do you have a certain time you'll post every day? How strict are you with your scheduling?
Depends. I usually post maybe like anytime from 5:30 to 7 p.m. here. Just whenever I can,
Prime
whenever.
time,
Yeah, exactly,
the
exactly.
golden hour, golden
Yeah,
IG hour.
whenever I
Right on.
can, but say I'm shooting sunset or hiking and I don't have the time to post, then I'll just throw it up later or before. Like I'm not too picky on it.
That's good. And again, that I think that comes back to really a big factor in the success you found is your consistency. Like, dude, you work so hard, you're so consistent,
Exactly.
and I think people see that, and they don't only appreciate the photo itself, but they appreciate how dedicated you are to your craft.
I was always like,
And I think people appreciate the shit out of
yeah,
that.
exactly. I always tell people like, just put out your work because as much as you can, like even if you think, say it's not like you don't think it's a top-notch work, it's some people see that it's very cool and that they can learn something from it too. So just get your work out
Exactly.
there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'd agree. I think that's super important. Just to a big thing people fall into is paralysis by analysis,
exactly.
or just being a perfectionist.
Hmm.
And it does take a certain level of discipline to actually put yourself out there, and boldness, because for a lot of people it is actually hard to put their stuff out there.
Exactly.
But yeah, dude, I think it is super important to just put yourself out there and share what you're doing if you do have a passion for
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Because if you do that enough, you'll always, no matter what you're doing, if you have a passion for something and you're putting it out and you're sharing it with people, there's always going to be some people who appreciate that. And even if you don't grow a huge audience,
Hmm.
I guarantee you can grow
Exactly.
a small quality audience
Yeah.
if you're just committing to it.
One thing that like I kind of want to touch upon also is like everybody sees Instagram, everybody sees people working with brands, working with cool companies, and maybe they think they're like not big enough, not good enough to work with them. But honestly, just don't even worry about that. Like if you just work on building your own photos, building your engagement, building all of that, people will notice you. These companies will notice you, and like just don't get disappointed. Just keep it. Just use it as motivation to work harder.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I agree with that 100%, man. All right, final question,
Okay.
and this is a question that that I definitely want to ask everyone because I feel like it's just a fun one to ask, and it is, what are you currently obsessing over or geeking out about that is not that does not relate to photography or or the photography space.
Okay.
Like just weird thing. So like I said, like mine is Fortnite. So what's yours?
Honestly, right now, mine is probably Fortnite too.
Oh, for
Yeah, my
real?
friends and I, we play, but we're all drunk. I mean, a couple of my friends are good, but my friend Sho and
Oh
I,
no way. What platform? What do you play, console or
I do
PC?
Xbox.
Oh dude, no
Yeah,
way. Oh, we have to play.
yeah, definitely. I'm so down.
Okay, I'm gonna text you. Dude, I'm gonna text you right after this and get your gamer
Dude,
tag.
I just want to let everybody know that like I have zero solo wins. I think my friend and I we're not that good. We won like one duo because we were hiding in a bush and we shot them at the same time. But dude, yeah, it's
Oh
just
dude, don't
something.
worry. I'll definitely carry
Okay,
you to
good,
your second
good.
solo win because I'm halfway decent. I'm definitely not good, but
It's just something fun to get your
but
mind
I
off of all of it.
yeah, exactly, dude. It's like the greatest form of escapism.
Exactly.
And sometimes I'll kind of fall into a trap where I'm playing too much Fortnite and I feel kind of guilty because because I could be so much more productive and then I convince myself that it's healthy competition and it puts me in a competitive mind state.
True, true. Like my friends and
So
I,
that's how I fool myself.
they all like go back to college. They'll go all over the states, and it's just so cool how like my friend Sho, he lives in Chicago. Like he could text me at say 10 p.m. there, and it's like 5 p.m. here. Say I have some free time before I go shoot sunset or something. We'll just hop on, catch up, play
And
some
just play some
games.
Fortnite together.
Exactly,
Yeah, just catch up with the boys and
exactly.
yeah, dude. Yeah, that's the thing. Playing squads and playing with your boys. It's a super good bonding experience, especially when you're all leading busy lifestyles and you can kind of lose touch.
Yeah,
It's a real good way to just keep in touch and
totally, totally.
just talk story, catch up, whatnot.
Yeah, it's always fun.
All right, man. So yeah, great answer, because it's the exact same answer as mine. I freaking love Fortnite. So good answer. But all right, man, we're gonna work towards wrapping up here. Any final words you wanna give to the audience? I know you gave that one piece of advice that you wanted to get off, but is there anything else
Mm,
any other points you want to get across, or anything else you'd like to tell people?
nothing much. Just always have a positive mindset. Never go into that. Always just stay humble, no, regardless of whatever happens. Just never be too good for anybody because nobody likes anybody who's too good for them.
Yeah, no, for real. Doing the right thing is always the right
Exactly,
thing.
exactly. Like every once in a while, I get like messages saying like, "Oh, I don't know if you'll see this, but I really love your photos." And of course, I can't reply to every DM, but I try to read to them and reply to them when I can.
Dude, and that's something else that I really want to like commend you for is the fact that you are so engaged and respond to everyone's comments and are so appreciative for the love that they show, dude. And again, dude, that's one of the many factors that I believe has contributed to your success, dude. And yeah, again, I just really want to thank you for coming on here and giving the time. And I think people will really enjoy this conversation, dude. And I think it will help a lot of people, a lot of inspiring individuals who are wanting to take action and pursue what they're doing. Where can people find? Obviously, like I said, everyone who's listening to this right now, I assume has seen you on social. But where can people find you on social?
Pretty much Instagram. I use Facebook kind of, not really. I think my response rate is really bad on there. It's less than 1%, but I just turn on the little tab. I have a Facebook page and I turn on the tab that says like um when I post on Instagram, it also posts the exact same thing on Facebook.
Oh yeah, that's definitely a good call. So you don't have to. So you're probably not super engaged on there, but at least you're putting content on the Facebook, which is good.
Exactly, exactly. But yeah, I pretty much Instagram and Facebook, Twitter. I use all the platforms. It just depends. Instagram is the most dominant one.
At Nolan Omura on all.
Yeah.
All right, Nolan. One more time, I just really want to thank you for coming on here and sharing some of your words of wisdom to the audience. And again, I think it'll be really helpful to a lot of people.
Thank you for
So,
having me. Thank
you
you.
guys show Nolan some love. Go check him out on Instagram. You'll definitely love his stuff if by some chance you haven't seen it. And yeah, action above all, guys. Peace.